Hello everyone. We are going to discuss about the molecular mass. In simple language, molecular mass is the total mass of all the atoms in one molecule of a compound. Suppose this is a compound and it is formed of these molecules. So if I want to find the molecular mass, I want to find the mass of this thing, this one molecule. And as it can be seen that this one molecule is formed of two atoms. Suppose these are two atoms, blue atom and pink atom. If I will sum up the masses of this blue atom and this pink atom, I will get the mass of one molecule of this compound. To define relative molecular mass, we can define it in the same way we have defined the atomic mass. So, the molecular mass of a substance is the mass of one molecule of that substance relative to the 1/12th of the mass of an atom of carbon-12. Molecular mass was earlier known as molecular weight also. Now, if we want to calculate the molecular mass of a compound is equal to the sum of total of atomic masses of all the atoms present in a molecule of that compound. Suppose we are having a compound water, H2O. The molecular mass of H2O will be calculated by summing up the masses of hydrogen, and total hydrogen are two atoms. So hydrogen plus hydrogen and plus oxygen. Simply I can also write it as 2 into hydrogen plus oxygen. Therefore, it is written here that molecular mass is obtained by multiplying the atomic masses of each element. I have multiplied the hydrogen element with 2 because there were 2 hydrogen here by the number of its atom and then adding them together, and there was only one oxygen, therefore I added oxygen as it is. Let us discuss some more examples. We are having the compound H2O. We can find the molecular mass by summing up all the masses of the atoms of elements. We are having two elements here, hydrogen and oxygen, and there are two atoms of hydrogen element. Therefore, 2 into hydrogen and only one atom of oxygen element. Therefore, only oxygen. The mass of hydrogen is 1U and oxygen is 16U. Therefore, we will get 18U. This U is actually unified atomic mass and it is the unit to calculate the molecular mass. In the case of sulfur dioxide, there is one atom of sulfur element and there are two atoms of oxygen element. The mass of sulfur element is 32U and the mass of one oxygen is 16U. If we calculate, then we will get 32 plus this one also 32, therefore 64U. In sulfuric acid, we are having two atoms of hydrogen element, one atom of sulfur element and 4 atoms of oxygen element. Hydrogen is 1U, sulfur is 32U and one oxygen is 16U. If I calculate 2 plus 32, 64 is equal to 98U. Now, glucose. Glucose is again an example of carbohydrate. It is composed of 6 atoms of carbon element, 12 atoms of hydrogen element, 6 atoms of oxygen element. The mass of carbon is 12U, hydrogen 1U and oxygen 16U. This one 72U, this one 12U and this one 96U. If I sum up, it will be 180U. That is the molecular mass of glucose. Let us discuss about the gram molecular mass. So, the molecular mass of a substance expressed in grams is called its gram molecular mass. Suppose the molecular mass of glucose is 180 U. Then the gram molecular mass of glucose will be 180 gram. You just have to change the unit from U to gram. Similar is the case with the gram molecular mass of water and carbon dioxide. But what you have to remember here is this. This is the mass of one molecule. Mass of one molecule, but when the quantity is expressed in gram, it is the mass of 1 mole. This 1 mole is also known as 1 gram molecule. And how many molecules it contains? It contains 6.022 into 10 raised to the power 23 molecules. If I want to calculate the number of gram molecules, then the formula is mass of the substance in gram divided by the molecular mass of the substance in gram. The number of gram molecules in 18 gram of glucose. So what will I do? The mass of the substance is given to be 18 gram and the molecular mass of the substance in gram is 180 gram. Then I will have 1 upon 10, or you can say 0.1 number gram molecules. This number gram molecules is also known as moles. Therefore, I can also say that 0.1 moles of glucose. So, 18 gram of glucose contains 0.1 moles of glucose. Now, the ratio by number of atoms in molecule. We discuss an example of H2O. 1:8 is actually the ratio by mass. Now we want to calculate the ratio by number of atoms. So what we have to do? We have to just only write the number of atoms. Hydrogen is 2 and oxygen is 1. So it is the ratio by atoms. If I want to calculate it systematically, see here. So the ratio by mass is 1:8. Hydrogen corresponds to 1 and oxygen to 8. The atomic mass of hydrogen is 1 and oxygen is 16 U. And now I want to find the ratio mass upon atomic mass. Then 1:1 is equal to 1 and 8:16 is actually 1:2. Now what we are getting the ratio between hydrogen and oxygen, that is 1:1 upon 2, but it is not the simplest ratio. If I want to convert into the simplest ratio by number of atoms, I will multiply it by 2 because I want to remove this denominator 2. So 2 into 1, ratio 1 upon 2 into 2. So I will get 2:1. Why molecular mass is important? Because it helps us to understand the composition of the compound and it is also used to calculate the amount of substances needed for a reaction.